this week's matchup is going to be Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez Jr. Benavidez Jr. has had, a recent fight in November where he was coming in at 158. He had a 3-year layoff prior to that, 36 months, 37 months. There's the younger brother, David. So he was coming out ready, do some fight. Danny Garcia moving up to a new division. Most recently coming off a defeat from Earl Spence. Earl Spence basically used him as a tune-up. Danny's been sitting out the ring for like the last 19 months, just trying to recover, trying to get his mind correct so he can get back in the ring and mix it up. So tonight we're going to see what he can do at a new division. Like I say, he's barely in a division, 152 with weight limit of 154. Jose Benavidez, he's 27-1 with one draw. He has one defeat, and that's against Terrence Crawford. He was stopped by TKO in that fight, like I said, and then a 37-month layoff after that. Danny Garcia, 36-3. All his losses are at 147 against elite competition. He just couldn't break through. At 140 he was dominant, but at 147 just could not get into a position where he was going to be a champion at that weight anymore. So moving up to 154, kind of maybe try to add a little rebirth to his career in a new weight division. In this fight, Jose Benavidez to win has to use that jab. He's known for throwing several jabs in a round. He has to, really use that to keep Danny Garcia at length when, to help force him to reset, and that allowed himself to get counterpunched. He needs to get on the inside, use some body work, and really just try to slow Garcia down. Now, Garcia, his plan was to clearly just to use the jab, go upstairs, downstairs, combinations to the body, hooks upstairs. Danny's most lethal weapon is the left hook. He is a counter puncher by nature, so this Benavidez coming forward is kind of something that Danny will normally look for in a fight. The thing about Benavidez, he was shot in his right knee, and I just don't think he has to push off on that back leg anymore. He just wasn't able to cut the ring off. He's coming forward, but it's just like the speed is. He's not very fast. When he does throw punches, it looks like he's winging them, because he just doesn't have the push off from the leg. You're supposed to turn that right leg when you're throwing punches, and he just doesn't have it there. So Danny, like I said, Danny was pleasantly surprised me. He was boxing, using good lateral movement, light on his feet, jabbing downstairs, jabbing upstairs, combinations to the body, moving back effectively, so, getting out of danger, defensively sound, as you can see there, good head movement. Danny was able to pull some things out of the toolbox. It's a pleasant surprise at this weight, if he's able to keep that up and use his speed, even though he's a smaller guy. He could be effective in some of these bouts. Benavidez, like I said, he fought recently in November. That was controversial, I think, draw. It's just I don't know where he goes in his career at this time. He's only 30 years old, but like I said, he just does not have the ability to cut off the ring. He wants to fight like his brother. His brother's he's a full load. He uses the jab. He comes forward. He wears guys out, and the older Benavidez, he wants to fight that way, but he just doesn't have the physical ability to do that. You see, he wants to use the jab. He had moments in his fight where he landed right hands and good punches. He just wasn't enough. He had to be a little more busy, because Danny was able to sit outside, jab, use combinations, move away laterally, just like we just did there. See, moving, staying right there, waiting, jab to the body, moving outside again. Like I said, Danny boxed excellent. I mean, this mixing up his attack, upstairs, downstairs, combinations, good head movement, lateral movement. Boom, see there, combinations. It just made it a tough night for for Jose. He tried, like I said, the effort was there. The will was to win. This was a good scrap. They both were trying to go for the win. Danny just had a little bit more for him tonight. Danny in the 12th round kind of went into cruise control. He felt like he had the fight, and he was just gonna go ahead and just put on a show at the Barclays Center. The second home from Philadelphia. It's a combination. He dances off for the evening. Now the scorecards came back. Oh, good right hand, solid punches. See, combinations to the body, jab. Now the scorecards came back. One of the judges had a draw, but Danny wins the fight by majority decision, which is, like I said, a good showing at 154. Like I said, clearly he's trying to revive his career and see what he can do at a different weight division. Like I said, coming off a 19-month layoff. Now let's look forward to what kind of matchups are possible at 154. So at 154, there is one single champion. His name is Jermell Charlo. He is undisputed. There is no other titles to get. If you want to be a champion at 154, you have to fight and defeat him. Nothing against Danny Garcia. He cannot defeat Charlo. It's just not possible. I don't see any way in the world that he could defeat Charlo. That is probably his worst nightmare of a matchup. And as a fight coming up next, it's not even possible because Charlo, in his usual routine in this division, is fighting another young, up-and-coming, dangerous fighter, a contender, Tim Tszyu, the son of Kasa Tszyu. He's the hot prospect in the division right now. I think they got, if you go on Box Rank, he's ranked number 5. But he's ready for smoke. He wants his title shot, and like I said, in usual manner of Charlo, he's taking the smoke immediately. He's taking that fight. I don't know where the location is going to be, but like I said, that's going to be another quality fight. Like I said, in the most competitive, the best division in boxing. 154 is loaded. So we got Fundora, another contender in this division. I don't see no way in the world of him being able to defeat Fundora. The funny part is I've heard some people say that Danny would box him and all this stuff. Look, Fundora is 6'7". He is extremely strong. He has a great motor. I saw at points and times in this fight tonight where Danny was struggling with Benavidez, where he was using his length, and Fundora is like 20 times worse of that. See, a lot of people feel like Fundora, he does give his height up, but at 6'7", even him giving his height up, a guy like Danny who's only 5'8", he's still taller than him. So him giving his height up actually makes it so that he gets leverages on his punches. He throws punches at an upward trajectory. Uppercuts that are vicious, and I just don't see no way in the world that Danny could defeat Fundora. That's a mismatch. So we have Castano. He's recently coming off a defeat, a knockout loss to Charlo. Like I said, the only champion division. He had a draw to a fight prior to that. I don't think he can defeat Castano. Castano is just too good. He has too much heart. I think that's just another bad matchup for Danny. So looking at 154, you see the top 3 that I just mentioned. I don't think Danny wins any of those fights. None of those fights come up next. So we go ahead and move down. Like I said, Tim Tszyu is going to be fighting Charlo next. So let's think about who else in this division is a possible opponent for Danny Garcia, where he may have an opportunity to win. You see some guys listed there with like Tony Harrison. Okay, so let's take Tony Harrison for instance. All right, so a fighter that was there tonight was Tony Harrison. Now, Tony Harrison said that he's willing to take that fight. I think of the fighters at 154, I could see Danny taking that fight, but I don't think Danny can defeat Tony Harrison. I think Tony Harrison is just too good of a boxer. He has a lot of skills. Tony Harrison's main issue is his chin, and he has lacks in concentration in a fight. I think that Danny Garcia fight, he would get up for it. I think it would be very hard for, even with his chin in that condition at 154 being that much bigger, I think he's about 6'1", that Danny Garcia would have a very tough time trying to hurt Harrison. So I don't see that fight coming up because it's not necessarily a great fight for Danny. But, Harrison said he wants to smoke, so we'll see. Now, 2 fighters that we also, like I said, in the top 10, that would be, I think, doable fights where Danny may be able to be competitive is Liam Smith. I don't think Liam Smith's size would be so great that he couldn't overcome. I think Liam Smith is coming off a good victory. I guess if you want to have a credible opponent and say that you fought somebody in top 10, Liam Smith would be probably excellent. Now Bosberg has Lubin still ranked above some guys there. I think they have him at number 9. Lubin is coming off a devastating loss to Fundura. Fundura just, man, battered him. Now, Lubin, as usual, had heart, and he battled back, but Fundura just was too much for him. Lubin was able to get knocked down that fight. Lubin's, I don't know. Danny Garcia, like I said, the reason I'm trying to find a position where he gets a top 10 guy and he has at least a 50-50 chance of winning the fight. Lubin may have, but I don't think Lubin's going to take that fight. Lubin has been battling. He was trying to get back into contention, and he just came up short against Fundura. So I don't really see what Danny Garcia will do at 154. There's some matchups that are credible. He's not, as long as Charlo's there, he's not going to win a belt. I put it like this: if they end up trying to strip Charlo of a belt and he wins it, that's not legitimate. You just got you a token belt. You're not a 154-pound champion. But Charlo's difficult to strip because he fights his mandatories and he gets busy. Tim Tszyu coming up next, man, that's a great matchup. So, well, thank you once again for watching my video. This is the King of Kings Boxing. And go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll get to you guys next time.